What is up, guys? I'm here with another video for you guys today. All of you guys can tell it is currently 3:21 a.m. in the morning. You're probably wondering why you up so late for. Well, I spent the last 2.5 hours of my life watching the new Stone Cold Steve Austin DVD. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the bottom line, the most popular superstar of all time. And I gotta say, holy shit, guys. DVD of the year. I actually would put this over the Sean and Brett DVD. This was fantastic. Loved it. I only watched the documentary so far, so if you're looking in the description box, I don't have the ratings for all the matches because I haven't watched them yet. I've seen most of the matches already. I think like 4 or 5 of them already. So I just want to get this review out of the way because mainly in my reviews I just review the documentary. So yeah. But cover here, you got pictures of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Great cover here, very, very good. Side seats very thick. Got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Picture of him right there. Yeah. Back here, you got pictures of him and him, Broken Skull Ranch. I'll read you guys back here. At his apex, Stone Cold Steve Austin was a pop culture phenomenon. The biggest WWE superstar in the history of sports entertainment. Despite battling the rejection of being fired and a career-threatening injury, Austin preserved and valued to the top of his profession. Now the fans can relive the epic story of the Texas Rattlesnake with Stone Cold Steve Austin, filled with new, never-before-seen, insightful interviews with Stone Cold, as well as biggest rivals including Mr. McMahon, Bret Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Chris Jericho, and more. This DVD is packed with Stone Cold's memorable moments and matches, provided a complete retrospective on the man who revolutionized WWE. Open it up, picture of him right here, Bret Hart. You see I have the listings actually on the artwork, which I know some people don't like, but to me it's whatever. You got disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4. I think I'll just do the review like this with it closed. It'd be easier for me to, sit here instead of standing up like I do with my other reviews. But I'm just gonna read off the listings from disc 1 because disc 2 and disc 3 are in the description box, and disc 4 is just a bunch of like extras. So if I read everything, it'd probably take up at least 5 minutes of video. So if you want to know the entire listing, just go on like WWE DVD News or something like that, and see the listing. So this one will provide football and wrestling Rookie of the Year from Hollywood, California, a platform, Fang McFrost, a main event momentum, number 1% tough, 90% lucky, Raising Hell, Tyson and Austin. Austin era has begun. Culture phenomenal and Stooges, The Boss, Rattlesnake versus Brahma Bull, difficult decisions. Return to Mania, Stone Cold comedy. Really, I'm not coming. One more rebound. The Law of Monday Night Raw, The Show Never Ends, New Horizons, Somewhere in Texas. Special features include The Autograph, The Hair Club, Rattlesnake, Tangled, Punked, Stunnered, and Bleed For Me. Now, in case anyone was wondering, this DVD is TV-14, so you do see him doing the middle fingers and him saying, Austin whipped your ass and everything. And if you guys have read his book, The Stone Cold Truth, a lot of this information is actually in that book, so you just hear from him saying himself. But let me just basically talk about this documentary. It begins basically showing off his childhood, like showing where he was born, talking about his family and everything. It talks about how he got into wrestling when he was, flipping the channels at 7, 8 years old. He talked about how he started training for wrestling when he found out that Texas wrestling was 30 minutes away from his college when he was in college, so he went down there and started training with some guy named Dutch something. I forgot his last name, but it's being trained by Dutch. And eventually he got called up to the USWA, which was WCCW, but changed the name to United States Wrestling Association, and he started doing very, very well there. And then eventually he got called up to WCW, where he was a tag team with Flying Brian, aka Brian Pillman, and he said he loved working with him. They were the Hollywood Blondes. He really, really loved working with him. And he said he was very, very pissed off at first when he was teaming with him because he was told he was going to get a singles push, but instead he ended up being a tag team push. But he ended up being very, very okay with that eventually. And then when they split him and Bryan up, he was very, very mad about that because he thought they were just getting to the peak of their tag team career, but, you know, WCW fucked up like always, and that's what they're doing right now. And then finally, you know, he got released from WCW because they believe they didn't find the it factor in him, but I think it was Paul Heyman. Was he still working for WCW or was someone else? Someone in WCW saw the it factor in Stone Cold, but, you know, Bischoff and them didn't, so they fired him. And then he got a call from Paul Heyman. He just started ECW, and he said he'd pay Austin to come and do promo, just one promo a week, and he did that. And that's when, you know, Stone Cold started getting pissed off in his promo. He started getting attitude, and you know, that's when his promos started getting very, very good. You know, his 95 promos were probably his best promos, they said. And, you know, footage they shown, I can't really disagree with that. You know, WWE finally noticed him and called him up, brought him up as the ringmaster, who was basically the in-ring technician for the $1 Million Man. You know, $1 Million Man talked trash and Stone Cold to back it up for him. Then eventually he got tired of that name, and he got tired of the ringmaster gimmick, and he said that when he was changing his gimmick, WWE sent him a 3-page of names he could use, and he said they all sucked, so he didn't want to use any of them. And I don't know if he said his wife or his girlfriend at the time gave him the name Stone Cold, and he started using that. And then he talks about how he won the King of the Ring, and he started the whole Austin 3:16 promo because of the fact that Jake the Snake was backstage talking about the Bible, and he said, why not use that? Then he talks about his match that at Survivor Series 96 when Bret Hart came back and handpicked him to wrestle. And, you know, then he goes on to talk about his Rumble win at 97 when Bret Hart eliminated him. Then he snuck back in the ring and eliminated Bret Hart to win the match. And he talked about their Mania 13 match, and he said that, you know, he just went all out in that match. And he said probably probably his best match in his career. And then he started talking about his match at SummerSlam 97 with Owen Hart, when Owen Hart tombstoned him and injured his neck. And you know, he was out for a while with that, and he didn't want to do any surgery. He just wanted to, you know, try to walk it off basically, and put surgery off. But you know, he was for a while. And then they started talking about his stunner, the Vince McMahon at Madison Square Garden, and how every time him and Vince were on TV, it was basically gold. It was drawing viewers. It made people want to watch Raw every week just to see what they were doing. And, you know, he was the first person to put his hands on Vince, and, you know, he was drawing a lot of money. And then, you know, they started talking about The Rock. You know, The Rock started coming up, and he was feuding with The Rock for the IC title for a while. And then they talk about his Rumble 98 win, and, you know, when Tyson got pulled into the mix, and him and Tyson had a miniature feud. And then, you know, they go to Mania 14, when he won the title from Shawn Michaels. He said that match should have been better, thought their match could have been way better than they had. But, you know, it was whatever, and he said that working with Tyson was just very, very, it was epic, you know. They said if they would have put Austin and Tyson on pay-per-view, face-to-face, that would have drew a lot. And then, you know, he became the face of WWE, doing a lot of media appearances. You know, everywhere he went, everyone knew who Stone Cold Steve Austin was. And, you know, he was a huge guy. You know, he was face of WWE. You know, every time he was on TV, everyone knew who he was. And he was just very, very big at the time. And then he talked about how fun it was to work with McMahon Stooges, being Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe. He said that was very, very fun working with them, just doing a lot of funny stuff. And then he talks about when him and McMahon really started the feud and everything, which was great stuff, as we all know. And he talks about the hospital scene with Vince, when he was actually practicing hitting himself in the head with the pan to find the sweet spot of the pan so he can hit Vince with it. So which was like pretty funny because he legitimately had to hit Vince really, really hard with the pan, and he didn't want to hurt his boss, to say the least. So that was pretty cool to see. And he talked about how he put the cement truck and put all the cement in Vince's car, and the beer truck incident and everything, which was just great. He loved spraying beer on, Rock and Shane, Vince, which was epic. Talks about his 99 feud with The Rock and going to Mania 15 and everything. He said when him and The Rock in the ring, they used to have instant chemistry, which is, obvious. Then he talks about how he had a spine injury, how he really couldn't wrestle or anything, so they wrote him off when Austin got ran over at Survivor Series 99. He was gone for almost a year, came back in No Mercy 2000. And, he goes to talk about his feud with The Rock again in 01. And, leading up to his heel turn. And, he said in the interview that he kind of regrets turning heel. He said at 17, instead of shaking hands with Vince, he would have just stunnered him instead and stayed face instead of turning heel. Because he really wasn't getting over as a heel. And, he tried to align himself with Triple H to get over, but it just wasn't working. So, he kind of regrets that. He did a bunch of comedy skits when he was heel, just were very, very funny. Him and Kurt Angle were doing funny stuff. Him singing on the guitar, him with, putting little Mexican hats on. They were just doing a lot of great stuff. Comedy was awesome. He said the what thing started when he sent a voicemail to Christian, and he was just, goofing around the voicemail. And, he started using it a month later. And, that was pretty cool. He talks about how it should have been him versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18 instead of him versus Scott Hall. He felt like he was losing a lot of momentum because of that. And, he just was losing his passion to wrestle still. And, and then after that, on Raw, they're going to do a King of the Ring qualifier with him versus Brock Lesnar, with him putting Lesnar over, and he said he had no problem putting Lesnar over. He just didn't like the fact that they just brought the match up like a normal match on Raw, He said that they should have built that match up a few weeks and then do it, but he didn't like the fact that they just had him basically put on a match randomly, and he said he liked how the creative was doing that, so, that's why Austin left. He no-showed Raw that night, and he left, and he just didn't like the way they're going, but, he ended up calling JR, and JR ended up setting a meeting up with him and Vince, and, they agreed on something, and, Austin came back, and, he said he returned, and he loved, his reaction. He talked about his match with The Rock at 19. He talks about his anxiety attack he had the day before WrestleMania 19, which he basically knew his career was over because of that. It was that's the first thing he actually mentions in his book. If you guys read that, talks about that, which is cool. So he said that it was just very, very scary. Before WrestleMania, you have one of the biggest matches of your career, and that happens. It's not good. And then he said that after the match, WrestleMania 19, he told The Rock that he loved him. He said he's gonna miss him because he knew that after that match, him and The Rock were going separate ways, and they weren't gonna see each other a lot anymore. So he thought that was, he didn't like that, but he had to deal with that. And then talks about being the co-GM with Eric Bischoff and being the new sheriff in town, which was very, very funny. Him and Bischoff were gold as well as him and Vince, but they did it short. He said that he wished him and Bischoff would have went longer, but it didn't. When Vince gave him the ATV, Austin said he loved going on ATVs. He said he sometimes had a little too much fun with them. He crashed and stuff, but he said he still loves it. And they talk about the summer of Austin, they call it, because summer of 03, I guess Austin he was basically great in 03 in summer. He was making Raw very, very funny and entertaining and everything, I guess. It was great. And then he talked about how he loved when the shows went off the air, because that's his way of interacting with the fans after the shows and just doing a lot of comedy. It was very, very funny. The stuff he would do after shows are just very, very funny. It was great stuff. You have to watch it. He talks about after wrestling when he got into movies, and he was originally supposed to do the Marine, but I guess like his agent or something said that it would ruin his career, his acting career, even though it hasn't even started yet. And Stone Cold said he wish he would have done the Marine because he really liked the movie, so it was whatever. And then he talks about being the host of Tough Enough. Everyone said that no one could do the job besides him because he's always honest in his opinions and everything. And then it goes into basically the last thing he talked about was him going to the Hall of Fame and how he really had a big change in the wrestling business, and showed a little video packages and the documentary. And I gotta say, this is tremendous. You really have to check this out. If you probably have to pick a DVD out, out of any DVD, like out of the HBK Bread DVD, Randy Orton, Greatest Superstars of the 21st Century, definitely pick this DVD out of every single DVD. Like I said, just a great documentary. Fastest 2.5 hours you'll ever probably have. And like I said, definitely check this DVD out. Very entertaining, worth checking out. So that was my review. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm out, guys. Thanks for watching.